In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a micro red dot sight made by Primary Arms. It is their model number MD-AD. This is their advanced red dot sight. They've got a few on their website, and their top-of-the-line red dot has push buttons on it instead of a dial for adjusting the brightness, and it'll run like for 50,000 hours. This is the model right down from that one. It doesn't run for 50,000 hours, and it has a rotating dial for adjusting the brightness. The other nice thing about this particular sight is it has integrated flip-up caps. Now, I don't know about you, but one of my pet peeves with micro red dots are the bikini lens covers, those rubber lens covers. They're not captured in any way. They have a tendency of getting lost, and most of the time they end up breaking. So this is a really nice feature to have these integrated lens caps on this. So I actually purchased this as a combo package. You get a discount if you buy a red dot sight and a mount. And since this this micro red dot will use any of the T1 mounts, the Aimpoint T1 mounts, you've got a large selection of mounts. You can go a lot of different manufacturers, 1/3 Co-witness, Absolute Co-witness, and you can get real inexpensive ones for like $20, all the way up to, you know, a couple $100. Now, this particular combo kit we're looking at here includes the Fortis F1-AB T1 mount, and this mount provides Absolute Co-witness. I'll read off the specs in just a bit and talk about that, but I figured let's take a look at let's take a look at the red dot first, and we'll move on to the sight. So the first thing you'll notice is that the Primary Arms red dots ship in a very nice box, and the box talks about some of the specifications. Front and rear flip caps are included. A optional kill flash is available, and that's true. There is an optional kill flash. These are nitrogen purged, night vision compatible, and of course they fit any industry standard micro mounts and give stated co-witness on mount specs, and of course it's waterproof. MD-AD, some specifications there on the side, which I have written down. And okay, so that's pretty much it for the box. And let's take a look at what's inside. Micro dot with removable base and flip caps. This is kind of an instruction sheet and some warning messages, how to zero, how to remove the integrated mount base, and battery. This uses a CR2032 battery, which comes installed. This has a 1-year warranty on it. So there's some instructions there. The sight comes in a little plastic bag. And let's see what else is inside the bag, or it's inside the box. All right. Vibratite VC3 thread mate. Looks like a thread locker, probably similar to blue Loctite. This is nice. You don't see a lot of products shipping with any type of thread locker. Now, there's not a lot of thread locker in here. There's a little Actually, it's kind of a weird looking thread. It looks like it's red. I'm not familiar with this brand of thread locker. And of course the writing on the back of the package is extremely small. I would use blue Loctite myself. I can trust blue Loctite. I don't know about this stuff, but it's nice that it comes with it. That's a really nice bonus, because most products don't ship with thread locker. A cleaning wipe. Warning note: when attaching to riser, only use screws provided with current base. Okay. Some silica gel, keep the moisture out, and a Allen key. And the box is nicely padded, so your investment is going to stay protected in this box. I'm impressed so far with what I see. The packaging here is definitely very nice. We've got everything we need, some good instructions, and a very nice padded box. Okay. All right, so you can see that this looks very similar to many of the other red dots, micro red dots that are on the market. Very similar to the Aimpoint T1 and the H1. Also very similar to the Bushnell TRS-25. And the difference with this one is this one's got extensions on the front and the rear for the flip-up caps. I really like this idea. Caps appear to be decent quality. So we have our adjustment dial here on the side, which most of you are probably familiar with if you've ever used a site like this. You get a positive click sound, which maybe you can hear. Put it up next to the microphone, and you can also feel the clicks. Now the one thing that's kind of different with this compared to like the TRS-25 is the 0 dot is on the top. So if you want to turn it off, you got to kind of look up at the top to make sure you get the 0 right there. And you have the adjustments right here with caps. Of course, these caps are not captured. That's always a pet peeve of mine. Is it would be nice if these were captured. On a lot of the aim points, the caps are captured, so you don't lose them. You've got some writing on here that says up and an arrow to tell you which direction to turn it. O-ring protected, of course, so to keep the water out. And that's to the right, turn in that direction. O-ring again. Nice caps. Again, it would be nice if these caps actually had the little detent in them so you could use the cap to make the adjustments. Some other sites on the market have that. I like that feature, but nobody else seems to implement that. Maybe it's patented or something and nobody else can do it. Okay, so what differentiates a site like this from like the Bushnell TRS-25 is the fact that this base is removable. This is, if you've looked at my other reviews where I've talked about the TRS-25, one of the things I don't like is the fact you can't remove the mounting base. So you have to find a riser that has a rail section on it that will clamp onto this, and your selection is rather limited. With this design, we can remove this and use any of the multitude of Aimpoint T1 mounts that are on the market. Wonderful idea. So before we move on here, let's take a look at the site. See if we can capture this a little bit. Now you'll notice on this site, well, hopefully you notice if I can get it in the viewfinder, The emitter is about at the 5 o'clock position, which is good. This won't interfere with co-witnessing. Some of these sites that have the emitter down here and the emitters are big, if you decide to do 1/3 co-witness, the emitters actually blocks your ability to do a 1/3 co-witness, which the new TRS-25 Bushnell is like that. This one has a really low profile emitter at the 5 o'clock position. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, you can't see this. I'm kind of looking at it. This emitter is extremely low profile. So let's see, we're at off, setting 1, setting 2, setting 3, setting 4, looks like the first 3 settings are for night vision. Setting 4 is for, I can see the dot there, so yeah, first 3 settings are for night vision. I'll just crank this up to say setting 7. And we'll just see if we can maybe, you can capture the dot on that. That's on setting 7. Let me back it down just a couple notches. Back it down to 4. That's a really small dot. That may not show up. And that's on setting 4. The dot on this is a 2 MOA dot. So this is quite impressive. And excuse me while the dot is very crisp. And it's very crisp. I'm on setting 7, setting 8. Turn it up to setting 8. It's still very crisp once we start getting really bright with it. So the dot on this is actually smaller and more crisp than the TRS-25. Okay, so let's see. I've got some specs here from Primary Arms. So I talked about the emitter. I showed you the emitter is at the 5 o'clock position. It's very low profile. I love that. The turrets for your windage and elevation adjustments are double O-ringed. So there's an O-ring that I showed you that the cap screws down onto, but there's actually another O-ring that provides water resistance even with the cap off. So that's a good feature. Now it says here that the night vision compatibility is the lowest 2 settings, but it looked to me like the night vision was the lowest 3 settings, 1 through 3. So the dot is 2 MOA. The battery life span is listed as 1,000 hours at medium setting. I guess a medium setting would be, well, it goes to 11, so probably 5 or 6, I'm assuming. And so if you had it on 5 or 6, it would last for 1,000 hours. Visible and bright sunlight, black anodized finished, nitrogen purged, so it's waterproof. The weight is 4.7 ounces. The length is 3.8 inches or 96.6 millimeters with the flip caps closed. That's not including the kill flash. The kill flash would make it a little bit longer if you decided to run one of those. 1-year warranty. So that's the specs I have on it. I do like this, what I see so far. Now the package, like I mentioned, the package I got came with the Fortis mount. Now the Fortis just ships in this white box, nothing special there, the mount in the plastic bag. Now the Fortis also ships with thread locker. So this is great. This is a little mini tube of blue thread locker. And nothing else in the box. So some thread locker, another nice idea. And here is the Fortis mount. Now the Fortis is not a quick release mount, and I'm sure that there's valid reasons for quick release mounts and so on. You can see that this is a skeletonized design, and it's also angled, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. I like the bottom of this mount. We have 2 pins that will slide into the Picatinny rail, and you'll also see that this whole section right here is all a clamping force. So when you clamp this down, you've got this whole area as well as this area here clamping against your rails. Plus you have these 2 alignment tabs. Now in comparison, if you look at the included mount on here, you see how long this is right here, and look at the other clamping force over here, this little small area, and we have only 1 pin. This is kind of common to see on lesser expensive mounts, to see this design. And if you've watched my Bushnell TRS-25 reviews, I've also complained about this type of mounting mechanism. It's just not as secure as it could be. But this is excellent. So we've got a couple of grade 8 bolts here. Now the one thing with the Fortis, they didn't include an Allen key, which is kind of a bummer. You'd think for the amount of money this costs, they'd throw that in there. But there's 2 holes on the bottom. These 2 holes allow you to insert a wrench to reach these holes to bolt it onto the sight. The fit and finish is very nice. The construction is phenomenal from what I can see. And let's see. What can I read you about the Fortis mount? Again, it's designed for the H1 and the T1 aim point. Let's see. It's lightweight, low profile. It's one of the lightest designs out there at 1.1 ounces, and it is extremely light. It features an innovative design by extending the optic forward for faster target acquisition. It secures to any mil spec standard 1913 Picatinny rail with 2 slotted machine screws. Offers an absolute co-witness. You can also get this same mount for 1/3 co-witness if that's what you want to do. And let's see, it's a billet design. It's aircraft grade 6061 T6 aluminum, which is good. I mean, it'd be better if it was 7075, but 6061 is more than adequate for this type of application. Military spec Type 3 hard coat anodized finished. It has a logo on both sides, and of course it's made in the USA. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this on the sight using the included, well, I said hex key. The tool that comes with the primary arms MDAD is not a hex key, it's a Torx wrench. So I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. It's basically 4 screws. I want to save some time here, and I'll come back. Okay, the 4 screws are not on there very tight, and it does say that in the instruction manual. You can see what the bottom of the MDAD looks like here. I'm assuming that I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the bottom of this mount here. There's a little sticker over a hole. It says nitrogen gas trop. So this must be where the nitrogen is inserted, and then there's some sort of like silicone compound filling the hole right there. And you can see that it's the same design as a T1 or an H1, and we'll go on. Okay, sorry I took that off camera. It was kind of a tight fit to get the Fortis on the site, and you got to kind of put a little pressure on it to get it to fit. It fits real tight. So we've got 2 screws right up in the front right here, and then these 2 screws right here, which you would kind of put in from the side and then insert your wrench from the top. I'm going to again go ahead and do that off camera and be back shortly. Okay, the mount went on, no problem. Screws threaded just fine. Good quality screws. And for comparison, here's the TRS-25. Now, if you don't like the mount that has the cant to it, you can get a standard mount. What I like about the canted design is I've got an upper receiver here. Most people will mount their sight as far forward as they can on the upper receiver. So let's see here. So in the case of this TRS-25, you can see that, how that would mount on here. The Fortis would mount like so, allowing you to move the red dot a little bit further forward, giving you a little bit more space from your eye to the red dot, without actually having to put this over onto your handguard. And I know a lot of people run handguards that don't have Picatinny rails on them, so you know they run their sights as far forward on the upper receiver as they can. Same with me. I run my sights as far forward as possible. So the cant on the sight just allows you to move it forward a little bit more to get a little bit more eye relief. I've covered all my talking points. I think this sight is I think it's a great buy for what it is. At this juncture, I like it better than the TRS-25. You are going to pay a little bit more money for it. Again, I paid $160 for this and the mount. You can see that it's an extremely high quality mount, very lightweight, and it's a nice upgrade from like a Bushnell TRS-25. And it's obviously not going to be an Aimpoint T1 or probably even an H1, but then again, you know, those are $500–600. So that's an awful lot of money to spend. You know, if you're a civilian and your rifle spends most of the time in the safe, one of these options might be a little bit more appropriate for you. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll give the primary arms MD-AD 2 thumbs up from what I've seen. I can't comment on how it holds 0 or anything like that yet. I'm Obviously, I'm going to put it on a rifle, and one of my next range videos, I'll definitely be shooting it at the range. So I'll be able to give you some follow-up comments on how easy it was to sight in and if it holds at 0, and any other comments I might have.